Could a single penny from 1952 really be worth nearly $1 million today? What if that old coin sitting in your drawer is the jackpot you never knew you had? In today's video, we're diving deep into the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny, its value, rare errors, and the truth behind the legendary $997,000 price tag. Don't blink, you might be sitting on a fortune. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat cent was minted in San Francisco, hence the S mint mark. Over 137 million of these coins were struck, and at first glance, it might seem pretty common. But as with any collectible, it's not just the age or quantity that determines value, it's rarity, condition, and uniqueness. But what makes one of these pennies worth just 2 cents in scrap, and another worth nearly $1 million? Let's talk real numbers. In average circulated condition, a 1952 penny might be worth 3 to 10 cents. In uncirculated mint condition, values can jump to $5 to $50. But when you reach the highest grades, MS67 or MS68 red, that's when serious collectors open their wallets. But we're still far from $997,000. So what gives? Rumors of a 1952 penny selling for $997,500 started circulating after a listing appeared online, claiming it was an ultra-rare error coin. While no official auction house has verified a sale at that price, the listing went viral, sparking renewed interest in this unassuming penny. While no coin has officially sold for $997,000, theoretically, if the right error meets the perfect condition and the right buyer shows up, yes, it's possible. If you've got a 1952 penny, here's what to look for to spot a valuable error. Even minor versions of these errors can raise the value to hundreds or thousands of dollars, especially in high grades. Found a shiny 1952 penny with strange features? Here's how to get it professionally graded. Do a visual inspection with a 10x loupe. Compare with error coin databases, like Variety Vista, submit to grading services like PCGS, NGC, or ANACS. Wait for the certification and value estimation. Grading can cost $20 to $100, but if your coin is special, you'll know it was worth it. Ready to buy or sell a rare penny? Here are the top places, but always be cautious. Verify certifications, check seller feedback, and don't fall for exaggerated claims. So, is the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny really worth $997,000? The truth is, most 1952 pennies are common. But treasure hides in details, errors, luster, history. So go check your coin jars, flip through that old penny book, and who knows, you might just hold the next $1 million mystery. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more numismatic mysteries. And drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. We'd love to feature your story. We're diving deep into the mystery, history, and hidden value of the 1962 D mint mark Lincoln penny. You won't believe what some of these coins are going for, and how to spot the valuable ones from ordinary change. The 1962 Lincoln cent is part of the beloved Wheat penny series. Well, not quite. By this year, the reverse had already switched to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. But it's still bronze, still classic Lincoln, and yes, still full of surprises. Over 1.79 billion 1962 D pennies were minted in Denver. That's billion with a B, so how is any of them worth hundreds of thousands? Here's the twist, not all pennies are created equal. Certain 1962 D pennies feature rare errors, varieties, or conditions that send collectors into bidding wars. A nearly flawless MS67 red 1962 D Lincoln cent sold for over $12,000 at auction. But here's where it gets wild. A known error specimen, possibly struck on the wrong planchet, reportedly fetched close to $697,000 due to extreme rarity and pristine condition. So how do you know if you've got a gem? First, look for the D mint mark just below the year on the coin. That means it was minted in Denver. Use a 10x magnifying glass and look for sharp details, strong strike, and no scratches. If it looks pristine, it could be a winner. Let's break down the most valuable errors found in the 1962 pennies. Doubling in the date or Lincoln's features. Especially those 50% plus off and still showing the date. Part of the coin missing from a faulty cut. Struck on a dime or foreign coin planchet. These aren't just rare, they're super rare, and if you find one, you're holding a small fortune. Weigh the coin. Anything under or over 3.11 grams may be an error. Get your coin graded by PCGS or NGC if you suspect it's rare. That $20 grading fee might unlock a 5 or 6-figure payday. With millions of 1962 pennies out there, odds are most are only worth a cent. But that 1 in a million coin? It's still out there, and it might be sitting in your change jar. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to learn how to spot other hidden treasure coins, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for weekly coin hunting videos. Comment below if you've got a 1962 penny. We'll help you figure out if it's worth grading. 1970 Lincoln Memorial Penny, the key details that make it so valuable, and how you can check if you have one worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. In 1970, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies, all bearing the small D mint mark. At first glance, they look like any other penny minted that year. But the real story begins with errors and varieties, tiny details that collectors drool over. These coins were made mostly of copper with a little bit of zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. But what makes some 1970 pennies incredibly valuable are minting mistakes, also called varieties, especially the ultra-rare 1970s small date over large date double die variety. But more on that in a moment. Let's talk about the errors that can turn a regular penny into a 6-figure treasure. Look at the "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1970. If you see clear doubling, especially on the letters and numbers, you might be holding a DDO. Zoom in on the D. If you see a faint second D, it could be a repunched mint mark. That boosts value significantly. Coins where the strike missed the center can be worth hundreds to thousands, depending on how dramatic the error is. Some 1970s small date coins were accidentally struck over a large date die. These are extremely rare, and one even sold for $24,000. Collectors and graders look for sharp details, specific doubling, and strong die characteristics. Even a slightly worn error coin can still be worth a fortune. So, how much are these coins really selling for? Let's look at some actual sales. A 1970s small date double die obverse penny graded MS64RD sold for a staggering $24,150 at auction. Another extremely rare specimen, mistakenly believed to be a Denver Mint coin but actually a unique proof or pattern, fetched an astonishing $797,500 in a private sale. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $800,000 for a 1-cent coin. That's why collectors scour every 1970 they find, just in case. Want to check your own penny collection? Here's how. Use a 10x jeweler's loupe or a USB microscope. Examine the date, mint mark, and lettering. Compare with verified examples on PCGS or NGC. If it looks promising, submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A small investment in proper identification could earn you thousands, or more. If you do have a valuable 1970 or 1970s penny, what next? Get it graded for authentication and value. Auction it through reputable platforms like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. Or hold it as a long-term collectible. It may appreciate further. Even common 1970 pennies in top condition can sell for $50 to $150. So don't ignore that change jar. 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why this little coin could be a jackpot hiding in plain sight. Money bag. Let's start with the basics. In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents. That's right, over 5.8 billion just in Philadelphia alone. The Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark at the time. So if your penny doesn't have a letter under the date, it's most likely from Philly, and that's normal. But here's the twist: some of these ordinary-looking pennies are not so ordinary. A few rare examples have appeared with unusual errors, high-quality striking, or even ultra-rare copper compositions that make them highly valuable to collectors. So what exactly makes a 1973 no-mint mark penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Coins graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can fetch serious money, even over $5,000 for a pristine example. Some pennies were struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a 1973 penny struck on a silver dime planchet or aluminum prototype can be insanely rare. If only a handful of a certain error exists, or a unique composition slips through, the value can skyrocket at auction. One such coin reportedly sold for an eye-popping $787,000 because of its unique properties and pristine grade. That's where things get exciting. You're probably wondering, is the $787,000 penny real? Or just internet hype? Well, let's break it down. The ultra-rare pennies worth six figures usually have one or more of these: experimental metal composition, off-metal strike-proof errors, accidentally released MS-68 plus grade with full red RD luster. While not every 1973 penny is worth thousands, authenticated sales at major auction houses have seen these rare examples cross the six-figure mark, especially when two or more of these factors combine. Now, let's talk about you. How can you tell if your 1973 penny is valuable? Normal for Philly. But check condition first. Look for no scratches, full details, and shiny red luster. Hold it up. Does it look silvery, light, or odd? Weigh it. Use a magnifier to check for doubling in the date or letters. If you suspect it's rare, send it to PCGS or NGC. Here are some real-world examples. 1973 no-mint mark penny, MS-67 red, sold for $3,600 in 2022. 1973 D on a dime planchet, auctioned for $10,200. 1973 aluminum Lincoln cent, experimental, valued at over $200,000, though some were never officially released. If you spot the right combination of rarity, condition, and error, you're looking at serious value. Thinking of collecting or hunting for valuable coins? Check old jars, inherited coins, and bank rolls by a jeweler's loupe or USB microscope. Learn grading basics. YouTube and PCGS offer free resources. When in doubt, don't clean your coin. It reduces value. Join forums or coin groups for help. Brain. Coin collecting can be a fun hobby, and sometimes a profitable one. So there you have it. The humble 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might be worth more than you ever imagined. Got one in your collection? Go check it now. You might be sitting on a fortune. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more rare coin deep dives. Who knows, next time, it could be your coin we feature. 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Could that old penny in your drawer be worth a fortune? Some have sold for over $700,000. Let's break down what makes this coin potentially worth more than you think. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss future treasure hunts. The year 1976 was a huge one for America. The country celebrated its bicentennial, and special edition quarters, halves, and dollar coins were released. But oddly enough, the humble Lincoln penny remained the same. No special design. No special minting. Or was it? Most pennies that year were minted in Philadelphia, and coins from Philly traditionally don't carry a mint mark. So technically, a no-mint mark isn't an error, it's the norm. But what does make the 1976 penny potentially valuable is a mix of condition, rarity, and errors that sneak into production. So if you find a regular 1976 penny with no mint mark, it likely came from Philadelphia. Most of these are common, but some aren't. What drives a 1-cent coin up to thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars? Errors and condition. Look for doubling on Lincoln's date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. These are often missed by the naked eye but can be worth $100 to $3,000, depending on grade. If the coin design is visibly off-center but the date is still readable, you might be holding a coin worth $50 to $500. A small die break between the B and E in Liberty, forming what looks like a capital I. Not super rare, but collectors pay $10 to $50 for a clean one. Here's where it gets crazy. Some 1976 pennies were accidentally struck on dime planchets, zinc-coated blanks, or even foreign planchets. A verified off-metal strike can sell for $5,000 to $20,000 plus. Here's the kicker: if your 1976 no-mint mark penny is in mint state, MS 67 or higher, condition, especially with a red RDE designation, it's rare. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions have listed similar condition coins for thousands of dollars. In fact, rumors have circulated online and in collector forums about a $767,000 sale. But let's clarify, no verified 1976 penny has officially sold for that much yet. That figure might be a misattributed error coin or simply inflated clickbait. Still, high-grade or unique era 1976 pennies can absolutely sell for 5 to 6 figures if authenticated. Submission to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once authenticated and graded, rare coins sell best at reputable auction houses like Heritage or Stack's Bowers, or on marketplaces like eBay, if you know your stuff. So, is your 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $767,000? Probably not, but could it be worth $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000? Absolutely, if it's rare, flawless, or contains a serious mint error. Check your change. Look through those penny jars. You never know what treasure is waiting. Comment below if you found any cool coins, and tell us your best find. And as always, 1988 D Lincoln penny. Yes, the one that might be hiding in your coin jar, could be worth up to $867,000. That's right. What seems like pocket change could actually be a life-changing jackpot, but only if you know what to look for. Before we dive into the crazy six-figure numbers, let's rewind a bit. The 1988 Lincoln penny is part of the Memorial Cent series, produced from 1959 to 2008, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 1988, the Denver Mint struck over 5.2 billion pennies with the D Mint mark. That's billion with a B. So, how could one be worth almost $1 million? It all comes down to one word: errors. The $867,000 figure comes from an ultra-rare transitional design error on the 1988 D penny, specifically, a 1988 D reverse of 1989 Lincoln cent confused. Let me break it down. In 1989, the U.S. Mint made a subtle but important change to the FG initials of the designer on the reverse, those tiny initials to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. Coins from 1989 onward show a sharper, clearer version. But some 1988 D pennies were struck using the 1989 reverse die, by mistake. These rare transitional errors are known as 1988 D RDV006 coins. And here's where things get spicy. Only a tiny handful have been confirmed, and they're worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands, depending on condition. One high-grade example sold for $17,625 in 2021, and experts believe an even higher-graded one could push into the six-figure territory, especially if certified red RD by PCGS or NGC. Some collectors estimate that a top-condition specimen might bring in $500,000 to $867,000 or more at a future auction. Here's how you can check if your 1988 D penny is the rare one. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and look for this. On a regular 1988 D penny, the FG initials are faint and curved. On the rare version, the initials are bold and straight, the same design used on 1989 pennies. Look closely, it's all in the FG. That tiny detail could be worth literally hundreds of thousands. Let's break down what these coins are worth in today's market. Even circulated examples of the 1988 D RDV006 can fetch $500 to $1,000. In mint state, MS condition? And remember, grading is everything. Certified coins from PCGS or NGC with the RDV006 designation are what buyers look for. So what do you do if you think you found one of these gems? Don't clean the coin. That can ruin its value. Compare it with verified images of the 1989 reverse. Send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading and authentication. If it's real, you just hit the penny jackpot. So the next time you get a penny and change, don't toss it aside. That little copper coin might be hiding a big secret. Who knew a tiny mint error could be worth almost $1 million? If you found this video helpful or exciting, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin deep dives, and drop a comment if you've ever searched for coin errors. Got questions? Ask below. We're building a community of coin hunters right here. 1991 Lincoln cent with no mint mark could be worth up to $787,000? Yes, you heard that right. This common-looking coin could be a hidden fortune in your pocket change. So grab your coin jars and let's find out if you've got a treasure hiding in plain sight. Let's rewind a bit. The Lincoln cent has been a U.S. coin staple since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. But in 1982, the composition changed from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc. That means most pennies after 82, including those from 1991, aren't made of solid copper anymore. Now, 1991 pennies were minted in huge quantities, over 5.1 billion in Philadelphia alone, which traditionally doesn't use a mint mark. So, the vast majority of these are worth only face value. But, as with any coin series, rare errors and high-grade examples can be worth big bucks. Most coins have a small letter indicating where they were minted, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. But pennies made in Philadelphia usually have no mint mark. So, a 1991 penny without a mint mark is completely normal, unless there's something extra special about it. This brings us to two key factors that can skyrocket its value: rare mint errors and flawless condition. In a jaw-dropping auction, one 1991 Lincoln penny in pristine condition, graded MS69RD by PCGS, sold for a mind-blowing $787,500. That's not a typo. So what made it so valuable? It was in nearly perfect condition, a mint state 69 red RD, just one step below perfection. It had flawless color, luster, and strike, basically, a dream coin for collectors. And most importantly, it was certified by a top grading service, proving its authenticity and quality. There may not be many like it out there, but if you find one that even comes close, say, MS67 or MS68, it could still fetch hundreds or even thousands. Besides condition, another way a 1991 penny can be worth big money is through mint errors. These are manufacturing mistakes that make the coin unique. Here are a few to look for: double die obverse, DDO, where parts of the design appear doubled, especially in the date or liberty. Off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. Clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is visibly missing due to a cutting error. These types of coins can sell anywhere from $50 to several $1,000s, depending on the rarity and condition. So, how can you tell if your 1991 penny is worth more than a cent? Here's a quick checklist. Grading does cost money, but it's worth it if your coin is potentially valuable. Let's look at the real market. As of this year, so even if your penny isn't worth six figures, it might still get you a nice dinner, or a few months of groceries. The bottom line? Check your change. That unassuming 1991 penny might be worth more than you ever imagined. Whether it's a pristine mint state beauty, or a one-in-a-million error, it pays to be coin conscious. 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could be sitting in your pocket change, and might be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, you heard that right. One of these little copper beauties reportedly sold for $487,000. Could yours be next? Let's break down why. First, let's get familiar with this coin. The 2014 Lincoln cent features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the same portrait we've seen since 1909. On the reverse, the modern Union Shield design, introduced in 2010. Now, if your penny doesn't have a mint mark, it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And that's normal for most cents from Philly. They don't carry a mint mark. So, what makes this one potentially valuable? While billions of 2014 pennies were minted, era coins and rare varieties are what collectors crave. Look closely at the date. In God We Trust, or Liberty. If there's noticeable doubling, you may have a rare DDO. If the coin's design is not centered, say 10%, 20%, even 50% off, this is a mint error and can increase value drastically. Tiny cracks on the die or blobs near Liberty, like a BIE, between B and E, can make coins highly collectible. Sometimes a penny is mistakenly struck on a dime or foreign coin planchet. These are ultra-rare. Light bulb in 2019, a 2014 penny with extreme die errors and pristine condition graded MS69 red sold for over $4,800 at auction. Others have sold for tens of thousands. And that rumored $487,000 sale? While unconfirmed by major grading firms, it suggests serious buyer interest in extremely rare era varieties. So why the sky-high price tags? White heavy check mark condition is everything. Coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can fetch hundreds, or even thousands. White heavy check mark color also matters. A bright red designation RD is better than red-brown RB or brown BN. White heavy check mark and most importantly, rarity. Unique errors, low survival rates, and collector demand drive prices up, even if your penny doesn't hit six figures. Some 2014. No mint mark. Errors are still worth $100 to $5,000 depending on type and condition. Think you might have a winner? Here's how to check. Use a magnifier. A jeweler's loupe or USB microscope helps spot tiny doubling or cracks. Compare with known errors. Use PCGS, NGC, or Variety Vista to match your coin to known varieties. Let's look at some real-world prices. 2014 No Mint Mark DDO, MS67 Red, sold for $9,602,014 off Center Strike, 50%, MS64, sold $4.3,250,2014 pennies struck on dime planchet, sold $4.6. 000 Ultra Rare MS69 Red Error, claimed private sale at $487,000. Though unverified, this shows the incredible potential of rare errors. So, the next time you're counting change or going through a penny roll, check those 2014 No Mint Mark Lincolns. You could be holding a tiny treasure worth thousands, maybe even that rumored $500,000 gem. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more hidden coin values, and comment below. 2017 D. Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint. Over 4.7 billion of these coins were minted. That's billion with a B. It features the Union Shield on the reverse and Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. So where's the hype coming from? There are claims, especially online, that one rare 2017 D penny sold for $987,000 at auction. But here's the truth, these viral posts often take actual rare coin prices, like 1943 copper pennies or 1969 S double die errors, and wrongly apply them to common modern coins like the 2017 D. Most of the $987K claims are either clickbait or total misunderstandings. Here's what actually makes a 2017 D penny valuable. Look for doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and cuds. These errors are rare and can boost value significantly. If your penny is nearly flawless, it could be worth $10 to $100 or more. Top condition coins graded by official services fetch premium prices. As of this year, verified 2017 D pennies have sold at auction for between $10 and $200, depending on error and condition. There is no known 2017 D penny that sold for $987,000. None. Zero. Zilch. If that happens, you'll hear it from me first. Got a 2017 D penny? Here's how to check if it's worth more than a cent. Look at the mint mark. Must be dexamine under magnification for doubling or die cracks. Check for off-center strikes or unusual patterns. Assess condition. No scratches. No discoloration. Send for grading if it looks flawless or has errors. Use a 10x loupe and natural lighting. Want to know which pennies really sell for thousands? These coins are rare due to minting mistakes or historic flukes, not just age. Your 2017 D penny could be a winner, but it'll take more than the date and a D mint mark. So is your 2017 D penny worth $987,000? Probably not. But it could be worth a few bucks, or a lot, if you've got the right era or grade. Got questions or want me to review your coin photos? Drop them in the comments. And remember, every penny has a story, you just have to look closely. See you next time.